Hello, everybody. Bill Thornton, SoCalsabre here. And today I'm going to do what might turn into a weekly series. This is going to be Superstar Baseball What Happened Last Week. Well, on Thursday of last week, 6 games were played. 6 teams, or 4 of the teams played their 8th game, 2 of the teams played their 9th game of the season. And as I've said in other ones, we play 30-game seasons. We've been playing them since 1982. Just 30 games, so we can see the light at the end of the tunnel, and then there are playoffs and World Series, etc. Then we go drafting everything all over again. But anyway, on last Thursday, the opener of the day was a very exciting game between featuring the San Diego Padres and Seattle. San Diego started out real quickly in the first inning when Frank Robinson hit a 2-run homer in the top of the first to put them up, but the not to be undone. Seattle came back and scored 2 in the bottom uh, of the first, capped by a solo home run by Frank Thomas. Oh, and then more excitement came in the ninth inning. In the top of the ninth, the game went back and forth. Alan Trammell hit a 2-run homer to put San Diego up 6-5. Then with John Wetland on the mound for San Diego, they were feeling pretty comfortable in the bottom of the ninth until Ed Delahunty singled in Wally Shang to tie the score. And then in the 11th, pinch hitter Dan Brothers hit a single, driving in Wally Shang again for a 7-6 win for Seattle. Really great game. The winning pitcher, Trevor Hoffman, picked up the win, and Jonathan Papelbon got the loss, and there was a blown save in the game by John Wetland. So at the end, San Diego's record is now 5-3. Seattle's is 2-6, and so they'll be moving on. You'll see San Diego again in this recap because they play both on day 8 and 9, game 8 and 9. Okay. Next game featured sister teams, the LA Dodgers and the Baltimore Orioles. When I say sister teams, it means both of those teams are owned by the same owner. Each owner owns at least 4 teams during the draft. At the start of the season, Baltimore started off 6-0, and then they took a tough 7th-game loss and was looking to get back on track against the Dodgers. The Dodgers were scoreless in the first when the Orioles started their power hitting. I mean power hitting. Paced by back-to-back home runs by Don Mattingly and Mike Schmidt. Baltimore batted around, scoring 5 runs in the first. Later on in the game, Pedro Guerrero hit a home run, and they scored 4 more in the inning. And then finally, Joe Medwick hit a home run for them. So there's a lot of there. There was an ejection in the game. We do have ejections in there. We play more than just the dice and shake, and I'll explain some of the things as we go along, because we built this up since Team 7 or Game 7, adopting things from other games and making it also a owner manager simulation. Well, anyway, prior to the ejection, both teams, there are 2 batters had been hit. When there's 2 batters hit, umpire issues a warning. And there we go, top of the ninth. Hoyt Willem on the mound, feeling pretty good, got himself a shutout going here, and he hits a batter and was ejected. So I didn't get the feel getting the feel of that. Well, they continued on. The final score of the game was 12-0. Not a very good visit by the Dodgers to Baltimore. Winning pitcher, of course, was Hoyt Wilhelm. The loser was Ed Killian. And now, as I talked about some of the things that we have in our thing, we have a 26 player roster that has to be maintained all the time, just like the major leagues. And then we have 5 on reserve. Well, anyway, injured in that game for the Dodgers was Al Rosen. So an injury automatically goes on the injured list. So now the owner is going to have to go out and either, number one, if he has them, bring somebody up from his reserve squad. Each owner may have a reserve squad of up to 5, or hire a free agent to come on to the team because of the injury, so that they can maintain the 26-man roster. Okay, during the game, Paul Wanner was injured, but it was only a game-only injury. So, also there's a roster move. Baltimore, also Robinson Cano was injured, and his injury is over. So now he's waiting for assignment, because once the injury is over, that puts him back like in a limbo or to active, and you can't have 27 guys active. So the owner's going to have to go in there, and if he wants to put Cano back into the active lineup, he's going to have to send another guy down to the reserves or to the minors. And so we built this up. It's you know, pretty neat manager owner sim also. During that game, Mike Schmidt won 3 for 5. This was his debut for the season. 3 for 5 with 4 RBIs. So after the game, Baltimore's record now is 7-1, and the Dodgers are 3-8. Just looked up there and saw that I made a typo, so let me go fix that right away. So I had to make some notes to remember all this stuff. Okay, Game 3 found the defending champion Atlanta Braves, who are off to a slow start this year, visiting the Texas Rangers. The Rangers got on board first when Ivan Rodriguez hit a 2-run homer in the 4th inning. On the mound for Atlanta is Johan Santana, and on the Texas is Warren Spahn. Well, the game stayed that way, and Johan Santana was pitching a good game, but he wasn't getting much offensive support until the 7th. The Braves scored 4 times and 2 more in the 8th, with the runs being driven in by 4 different players. That's really nice when that happens. Santana continued and pitched a complete game to get the win as Atlanta beats Texas 6-2. Spahn took the loss. Atlanta now is 3-5, trying to recuperate. They're trying to get going. They are the defending champs, and Texas is also 3-5. Okay, game number 4 featured Milwaukee Brewers. This is interleague play. We're in this part of the schedule. That's why it's mixed match like this. Visiting Detroit. Milwaukee's been a high-scoring team so far this year, and they got power help from Ricky Henderson, Mark McGwire, and Mike Piazza hit home runs for Milwaukee, and Jack Taylor pitched a strong 7 innings to help the Brewers beat Detroit 5-2. Jim Cott took the loss, and J.J. Putz got a save. And then there was an injury for Milwaukee, and it was Joe Cronin, but he was game only. And then they also have a roster move because Edgar Martinez's injury is over, and so he's waiting for assignment too by the owner. So right now Milwaukee's 5-3. Detroit fell to 4-4, but for this early in the season, they'll take anything above 500. Okay, so now we're on the schedule where teams are starting to play their 9th game, in Game 5, and this featured the San Francisco Giants visiting the Yankees. Okay, Barry Larkin hit a home run for the Yankees. Let's say who's on the mound we got Stan Kovaleski and Hooks Wiltz on the mound. Barry Larkin hit a home run for the Yankees, but it ended up being a losing clause because they couldn't match San Francisco's offense. The Giants got home runs from Larry Walker, Chipper Jones, and finally an unlikely grand slam by Archie Vaughan. That was the first of his career. We do keep all of those stats also. The final score was San Francisco 8, New York Yankees 2. Kovaleski pitched a complete game and got the win, while Hooks Wiltz recorded the loss. The Giants, who are off to a terrible start, are trying to get back on a winning track. They have won 2 in a row now, and their record is 2-7. The Yankees fall to 3-6 on the season. What do we got going there for managers having to move? Well, we had the Giants had got Jackie Robinson was injured, but it was for game only. And then for roster moves, the Yankees, Huey Jennings' injury was over, so they're going to have to do some roster moves for him also if they want to get him back on. Well, they got to do it. They got to get him somewhere, get him on reserve, the active roster, or send him to the minors. We do have minors. Anybody that we sign as a free agent that we have and we don't have room, we can send him to the minors, and he's owned by that owner for the rest of the season. Okay, the final game of the day featured the San Diego Padres. You'd already heard them, but they was when they were playing their 8th game. This was their 9th game, and they put uh, it turned out at Boston, and this turned out to be a real pitching duel, featuring Frank Smith for San Diego and Don Drysdale for Boston. They dueled for 7 innings, scoreless innings, before being lifted for pinch hitters. Finally, in the top of the 9th, San Diego scored when Frank Robinson was walked with the bases loaded, forcing in a run. Ron Dibble came in to pitch the 9th for San Diego and shut the Red Sox down. Dibble got a save for his efforts. Ken Tucolby got the win, and Ken Giles the loss. San Diego is now 6-3, off to a good start, and Boston fell below 500. They are now 4-5. That's my recap for this week, folks. Go down there, hit that like button, and subscribe. Let's get this Superstar Baseball game some more advertisement out there. If you want to see somehow the basic game plays, check out Kurt Berglund's video he put out this morning on how to play the game, and he's showing you the charts and everything. If you'd like to see us play a game when we do ours, because our next game day is going to be this coming Wednesday, let me know in the remarks. Let me know in the remarks if you would, think you'd like to be an owner, because you don't have to be present at every game. You can send in lineups. You can play by Skype, do various different things ever since COVID happened. So we got a lot of the options. And if you want a copy of our rules, hit me up at w.thornton, Thornton 5 at verizon.net, and I'll send you a copy. So this is Bill Thornton, SoCalSabre, saying thank you for stopping by. Take care of yourselves, be kind to each other, and stay safe.